Alright, so, person who's made me who I am today, at least a big part of it, the kind of man I am is obviously my parents, specifically, in this case, my father. Father, Mario, just like me, he came from El Salvador about 30-something years ago. He was fleeing the Civil War. As you can imagine, it was any civil war, no matter what the country is it's pretty intense. During the day, there would be forced inscriptions of young men like himself, and then at night would be raids and forced recruitment by the rebels. So him and his brother, my uncle, they made their way to the U.S. They worked, I think, for like a year in Mexico, and then got all their documentation they needed, and then they came over to Texas and began working. My dad had always had a dream of running his own business, even while in El Salvador, and he hit a lot of speed bumps, as one can imagine, from someone from another country. Despite him having all his papers in order and having his proper residency and whatnot, there was a lot of obstruction in his way from him reaching his goals. He had to, of course, work on his citizenship and everything, and he got that within 2 years. He raised the money doing that, just doing side jobs here and there, and eventually he saved up enough money to buy his first truck. And with that truck, he began his welding business, and then that took off, and he got that running, and all of a sudden he said, you know what, I want to do something even bigger, and he decided to move into the transportation industry. Now, the transportation industry is quite challenging. Owning a rig, there's a lot of overhead that comes with it. But he saved his money, he got it done, and about 2 years later, he was able to buy a second truck, and then a year after that, his third truck, and so on and so on. And he told me that despite what people were telling him, despite what bystanders would say, like, hey, you need to just quit, and go work for another transportation company, just be a driver for them. You're probably never going to make it. These guys have too much power, too much pull. He said, you know what, I have this dream, I have this desire to own my own business and to go over the open road. And that's what he did. And here we are, and he has a awesome fleet of trucks. His business is doing great. And he always told me that no matter what people say, no matter what it is that I decide to do, if you have the willingness, the determination, and the drive to do it, you can do it. You just have to be willing to do the hard work. And so when I look back in my life, 50, 60 years from now, and my dad has long gone home, as is the circle of life, I will be able to carry on that legacy to my kids, and from my kids to their kids, that no matter what life throws at you, just do the hard work, like your grandpa or your great-grandpa, and you can do it. So, yeah, that's it. Love my dad, and he's doing great.